It's time to let the metaphoric ball drop. Hi, I'm Maddie, and this is my segment on how symbolism speaks louder than dialogue when it comes to telling a story. This is Aragorn. He's the main protagonist in this story. He's also a ranger with the blood of a king who needs to take on the responsibility that he's been hiding from. Or, as you can see now, quickly walking away from. The point of this is that he enters a ranger and will leave a king. Everything that happens from here on out is going to build up to that.
I take my leave.
In this moment, he literally takes the place of a king and begins to question it by continuing to watch him leave. It's important to notice the figure of armor propped up behind Aragorn that symbolizes how he's holding on to his ranger status.
On behalf of one whom I love. Arwen is dying. She will not long survive the evil that now spreads from Mordor.
The camera focuses on the pendant around his neck. It's a symbol of life for Middle-earth. And at the beginning of the scene, it showed that same pendant falling and shattering, much like what's going to happen to Middle-earth if he fails.
The shadow is upon us, Aragorn. The end has come.
It will not be our end, but his.
When Elrond says,
You ride to war, but not to victory.
he's finally stating the actual conflict that was first introduced by the falling of the pendant. Here, we see the conflict building, as new information is introduced that will ultimately be the downfall of Middle-earth. Well, only if Aragorn refuses to do something about it.
City in 2 days. You're outnumbered, Aragorn. You need more men.
Elrond makes a face like he just smelled a fresh fart before suggesting the only solution to the problem. And this option literally haunts Aragorn with an extreme close-up and a flash of grade A top-of-the-line ghost face. The long shot of his body shows weakness. It's like the gravity of the situation is wearing on him like actual gravity.
Traitors. You would call upon them to fight.
All hope seems lost until the moment the sword is revealed, and an anthem of hope erupts that will fuel the rest of the scene. The camera is focused entirely on the sword, which is in the center of the shot, because the audience knows at this point how important this object is to the victory of the war. Aragorn is now trying to decide what he should do with it. God, these are some tender moments. And speaking of God, Aragorn seems to be oozing some hardcore Jesus vibes with the whole king deal and everyone being expected to follow him into battle on faith alone. But hey, maybe The Lord of the Rings is just fan fiction of the Bible. Wait, does that mean Gandalf's God?
That was what they used to call me.
Yay, sword time. While he stares fondly at the blade, it's actually inching towards completely covering up the figure behind him. And also, his former ranger status along with it. The blade is now cutting the scene into two halves, showing the two sides of the argument.
Summoned to him an army more deadly than any that walks this earth.
When Lord Elrond says,
Put aside the ranger. Become who you are born to be.
the final ultimatum has been laid down. As the scene continues, Aragorn wavers over covering the figure behind him and letting it show, much like he's wavering with his decision. Once his mind is made up, not only does he completely cover the figure, but he also sheathes the sword and it's done. That's all I have for today. Thanks for listening.